It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Wednesday, October 22nd. Bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily News Center, I'm Mac Watson. Brought to you by the Wyoming Business Council. Wyoming youth are our future, but they're leaving the state at almost twice the national average. What would bring them back home? Well, you can share your bold ideas with the Wyoming Business Council at wbc.pub/story. The Wyoming Capitol building was evacuated and locked down on Tuesday. Cowboy State Daily's Jackson Walker reports what authorities found.
Authorities from Wyoming Highway Patrol told Cowboy State Daily that they encountered what they suspected of being an IED, or an improvised explosive device. Now, out of precaution, they evacuated the Capitol and they placed the surrounding Herschler buildings on a shelter-in-place warning. Now, currently, where I am, the front of the Capitol here is roped off, and it looks as though there are some crews examining the front steps of the Capitol.
In addition to the Wyoming Highway Patrol, agencies responding included the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigation, Laramie County Sheriff's Office, and a joint bomb squad operated by the LCSO and Cheyenne Police Department. The investigation is ongoing. A hunter shot and killed a grizzly in self-defense in the Island Park, Idaho area, south of Yellowstone National Park early Saturday. Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines reports that this isn't an isolated incident.
This is the third year in a row that's happened in this area. This attack, was Saturday, middle of October. The other two in 2024 and in 2023, both times on September 1st. Bears, same thing. Grizzly charged hunters and was shot and killed. Those first two hunters in 2023 and in 2024, they shot the bear with handguns they were carrying as sidearms while they were archery hunting. This guy was rifle hunting and used his rifle to shoot the bear. But that's just noteworthy that this happened 3 years in a row. And so I talked to a grizzly bear conflict specialist. She's actually from Canada. They got a bunch of grizzlies up there. And she said, yeah, this sort of thing that happens during hunting season because you got guys.
The hunter was cleared of any wrongdoing by the agency. Wyoming Game and Fish tells Cowboy State Daily that hunters should always be bear aware when hunting, always carry and know how to deploy bear spray or have a firearm in case of an attack. After a Weston County clerk failed to show for a Wyoming Legislative Committee subpoena, the panel chair on Tuesday said he would seek a court order compelling her to testify at a later meeting. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports Weston County Clerk Becky Hadlock did not appear for the September 29th meeting, even though she was subpoenaed, of a legislative subcommittee tasked with investigating her office's mishandling of two races in the 2024 general election.
Subcommittee's actual meeting where she was supposed to show she didn't. So she could potentially face criminal penalties. That's still pending. But then the Management Audit Committee met again Tuesday, and they were like, okay, so next step is we're going to call for a court order to compel her appearance. And the chairman said that he would do that, and he would arrange for another meeting of the subcommittee to compel her via a judge's order to come and testify.
Now, if the Natrona County District's Attorney's Office prosecutes Hadlock and she's convicted, she could face up to 6 months in jail and $100 in fines. A Cody man accused of stalking his ex-wife and hoarding homemade explosives has pleaded guilty to 2 federal firearm charges in a plea deal. Cowboy State Daily's Scott Schwebke reports Randall Bailey faces sentencing in January on weapons charges.
And in 2024, he violated a protective order. He went to his wife's vehicle and took some items out. And when the police searched his house, they recovered a cache of 30 weapons, 2 pipe bombs, and some other items like a silencer was on a handgun. So he was first charged locally with some charges, but then the feds stepped in and charged him with a bunch of weapons violations. They had to call the bomb squad out to take the 2 pipe bombs away.
State charges are on hold as Bailey was indicted by a federal grand jury in July. He's scheduled to be sentenced January 6, 2026 in Casper. I'll be back with more news right after this.
Did you know 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime? Early detection saves lives, and regular mammograms are one of the most effective ways to detect breast cancer early. Find peace of mind and relieve the pain of not knowing where your breast health stands. Get your mammogram at Outpatient Radiology, where we are proud to put your comfort and care first. We find the answer for your peace of mind.
Over 800 full-time Wyoming National Guard employees are working for free under the federal government shutdown. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that they're entitled to back pay, but nobody knows when that will be.
Adjutant General testified on Monday like there's no end in sight. We don't know. And he also testified that this is in addition to other funding woes, such as the continuing resolution cut back on Army funds, prompting a hiring freeze. And also if the military budget bill passes in accordance with Trump's budget, they'll actually continue to see they'll be 9 more positions short in addition to the 66 they've already frozen out.
Major General Gregory Porter, Wyoming National Guard Adjutant General, told the Legislative Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs Committee during its meeting in Cheyenne that he had expected all those employees from being furloughed, keeping them at work because all the duties they perform are deemed essential. Rural Cheyenne residents say they're fed up with drivers taking out their mailboxes. Cowboy State Daily's Renee Jean reports that taking out a mailbox can have serious consequences for the drivers who leave the scene.
That's on the books as a crime.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's serious then. Yeah, I didn't know that.
You're leaving the scene of an accident, and you're leaving the homeowner with a problem because they're going to have to replace their mailbox. Probably costs $100 a pop.
Now, residents tell Cowboy State Daily that it's not just a prank, but people who aren't navigating that stretch of road correctly in that area, and they slam into the mailboxes. In fact, one resident says even a mail truck has taken out her mailbox. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting that daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast each and every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel or listen to us on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for watching. I'm Mac Watson for Cowboy State Daily.